Hey everybody, and welcome to a brand new installment of Nintendo News Report. Today, October 25th, 2015. I'm your host, Alexander Kulafi, and joining me on this opposite of special audio-only version of Nintendo News Report, that is one Donald Terrio. How are you, Donald?
Well, I'll be better as soon as we go down and beat the crap out of Cable Town.
Yeah, what happened was Xfinity has been shitting the bed the last couple of days, and I just found out we do not necessarily have the highest end package, so we are likely going to be spending more money on better internet soon. That will, I hope, result in many more video/audio Nintendo News reports to come. But today, the show must go on. Nintendo News Report must go on every single week. So this week, we just have a regular podcast, I suppose, which is kind of a disappointment because one of the things I was hoping to show people, and I am holding this up to the camera despite the fact that no one can see, is the fact that Amiibo restocks are hitting North America everywhere. You can get Dark Pit like relatively easily. Marth is around, Shulk is around. There are tons of Greninjas, Lucarios, all the Marios. It's like it feels like, at least for now, Amiibo is starting to be plentiful, and it's a really, really beautiful thing. I ended up buying the Greninja, a Captain Falcon, and Splatoon Boy. Three of the ones I never thought I would be able to get, but those were the three I wanted. On the other hand, it also means that I originally thought I was only going to have like 7 or 8 Amiibo by the end of the year. I already have 9. So we'll see based on this how everything shapes out. At the very least, this means I'm going to be able to get Mewtwo, and I am going to be able to get my blue yarn Yoshi. How have you been on the Amiibo restocks, Donald? I know you are in a different country than the rest of me.
Yeah, we're not as lucky with the restocks. We've had them trickle out on occasion over the last few months. Like I got a Captain Falcon, got a Marth a few months ago, and I actually was able to walk in and buy a Shulkin one miraculous day. But right now, I'm mainly looking for Lucina as far as restocks go. Once I have that, I think I'll be squared away because I had one, but I gave it away on the site.
That's really interesting because one of the things I noticed is that not everything is restocking. Only some of the stuff is restocking. Some of the stuff is only restocking in like certain ways. Like Villager, it seems, is going to be restocking as a Toys R Us exclusive for now, which is a little weird. And then it seems like other ones, like Lucina, have not really been restocked at all. So
Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of restocks or really anything out of Wave 4 short of the Splatoon 3 pack coming back into somewhat commonality for a few days. But
yeah, I thought about waiting for the Splatoon 3 pack. What were you saying?
yeah, but it really, like, I haven't seen Wario, Charizard, or really the only Wave 4 guy who's come back at all is Greninja, and that's because he's no longer exclusive. Same with Shulk and some, and yeah, I'm trying to remember who the other one was that was previously exclusive but is now pretty common. I think Lucario was as well. But it's just really weird seeing like a wall of Shulks at Best Buy.
That's true. Yeah, like it feels like it's gotten to the where there's so much on the of them are just getting like segregated into this weird Best Buy like yeah, interesting. We'll see how it shakes out. At the very least, for now, I have most of Yoshi and crossing like ones. So I think it's good to see Amiibo coming back. Let's say that we hope the sales don't slow down and they still remain popular,
But
uh,
but
even
but
though there's no star. Mm,
but we hope they're popular enough that people can get the ones they want, basically, without having to
sure.
go out of their way. He says as he's getting ready to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning to go to a Walmart to get his
Yeah.
yarn machine.
Crazy. I'm not gonna for an Amiibo. Like I'm over time. I might ask someone to help me import it if it's only available overseas. But Amiibo, and when it comes down to it, are pieces of plastic okay, but not good enough. No game. The video game, great. Mario Maker, just a palette swap with some fun sounds. The Smash Bros. Support was only fun to the non-hardcore Smash community for maybe a month, maybe two. Like, I haven't trained any of the last 5 or 6 Amiibo I've gotten. I think I've only trained like 3 of them overall. And then the Splatoon stuff is kind of cool because it is like substantial single player content. But other than that, Nintendo kind of needs to step up their game on the kind of support Amiibo's giving.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat with the Smash Amiibo. I've only trained up a few of them, although I do plan to go back and take care of the rest at some point. But they don't want to. They have a very fine line to walk because they don't want to lock out significant content. Like a third of Mario Party 10 is locked behind owning Amiibo, but they want to give an incentive to own Amiibo to use them in game and not just as a collectible.
Sure. Okay. But there's our Amiibo check-in for today. Let's move on to the actual news because a lot of stuff happened this week. In fact, for the sake of time, I'm going to go through all 3 of the big leak/rumor things that happened. Jill just talk about them as a whole. So 3 major things happened this week in the land of leaks and rumors. And that is that a Twilight Princess icon was spotted in the Wii U eShop, / the phrase Twilight Princess HD showed up in the Japanese Wii U eShop as a listing. This was via hackers. And then the other thing is a list of virtual console games and NES, SNES, GBA, DS, Wii also popped up in the same leak that brought us the Twilight Princess HD. And some of those games, we'll go through them, but it's a lot of Wii stuff, a lot of DS stuff, GBA, SNES, NES. Some of the interesting ones, we got Phoenix Wright games, we got Sonic Advance 2 and 3, Kirby Mass Attack, Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Blue Rescue Team, which is my favorite one of the Mystery Dungeons I've played, Pokemon Ranger, Super Mario 64 DS, Kirby Epic Yarn, Skyward Sword, Strikers Charge, Super Mario Sluggers, Metroid Other M, New Super Mario Bros. Wii, Super Paper Mario, and Wario Land Shake It. And actually, I'll talk about the third leak in just a minute because these two seem relatively connected. I am shocked that there is this many games queued and that a Twilight Princess HD listing showed up on the eShop, and we haven't heard anything about either slate of games leading up till now. That's kind of amazing to me, and to me it suggests, especially in the case of Twilight Princess HD, that once that game is announced, it could come out relatively immediately.
Like, it could be, and it's available right now on, or randomly get dropped on a YouTube video.
Yeah. I mean, it depends if they get behind it as much as they did Wind Waker HD, but isn't it really weird that this game, if it was far away, would have its own listing on the eShop? Like, it still could mean it's several months away. It still could mean it's like that 4-month split like Majora's Mask 3D had in between announcement and release. And maybe there could still be a retail one on that same day. But it's crazy to me that if there is this HD remake, that it was on the eShop in some form.
Yeah, because it's basically what they found was list of games that have updates for them. Like, that's the update server that they pull all those games from. So if Twilight Princess HD is a thing, it brings up a lot of questions of which one are they remaking, because they have that GameCube engine, which would probably work better with the gamepad. but they've also got the Wii version that they could easily just upgrade the assets on and make you use a Wii remote and nunchuck for it. And they've
Yeah.
so I'm really intrigued because Twilight Princess is my second favorite 3D Zelda, so I would like to get that back again on a modern console. But well, I tried to play Wind Waker HD and I literally got seasick from it. So hopefully there's not too much of the water on that.
That's almost the highest praise you could give that remake. Is that it was so immersive that you almost wanted to throw up.
Yeah, and I think the other intriguing game from that list that we didn't mention is Super Mario All Stars, the Super NES version.
Oh, I missed that. You're right. And Wrecking Crew 98. That's the sequel.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that they would put the Super NES version of Mario All Stars up when that would take away from sales of the existing Super Mario games, and you have the ability to sell that as a Wii disc at the Wii higher price point.
Wii U is on its way out. Not necessarily short term. Like I think it'll still be around actively at least through some point in 2017. But it's not necessarily a console with a limitless horizon ahead of it. I think that Nintendo is not that interested. It is at the very least less interested in whether it cannibalizes the sales of old Mario games that it's already sold 5 times before, when this gives them a new opportunity to sell a game that has only been released on Super Nintendo and as a super limited print with the Mario 25th anniversary disc. So I wonder if maybe the Mario games on VC haven't sold as much as they used to, and this might be their hope at getting some of the Mario sales back.
Well, they've also indicated that they're going full hog on Wii U Virtual Console because apparently that stuff is supposed to carry over to the NX OS. So if they're going to be selling all these games on the Wii U Virtual Console, because notice there's no, obviously they didn't get the 3DS listing, but the 3DS hasn't had a Virtual Console game in North America since February.
Sure.
So clearly there's something there that they know is that they want to have these games ready to go to really have Virtual Console get off to a really flying start on the next system.
Also worth noting, Hogan's Alley and Wild Gunman, both Nintendo light gun games from the NES, will be are part of this leak. Unfortunately, even though most of these would apply on the 3DS exclusively, no mainline Pokemon games necessarily. No Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, or Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, Fire, Red, Leaf, Green. A little upsetting.
Well, they've given the fact that the Wii U can't emulate the multiplayer functions very easily, and well, why would they sell you a multiplayer capable Pokemon game for $8 to $10 when they are selling them for $40?
Right. I guess I disagree and have always disagreed with that line of thinking. I don't think Nintendo thinks, and I don't think people are only willing to buy one Pokemon game. And I don't think they're only interested in buying the classic ones unless they're the kind of people they're like, oh, original 151 only, the rest of them suck. I think there's enough space in people's hearts for all kinds of Pokemon games. Maybe that's only me thinking that way, but I can't think of anyone who only buys one Pokemon game unless they just didn't like it and didn't want to play Pokemon anymore.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's more of if the Pokemon company would have final call on that, and if they're not willing to sell a mainline game, that's their call. I mean, we've got a couple of spinoffs there. I'm kind of surprised Red Rescue Team didn't show up for the GBA listing, but I think the assumption is that these Mystery Dungeon games started on the DS, because everybody forgets that Red Rescue Team actually existed.
Yeah, no, I don't know if many people bought it. At the very least, I remember even when I bought Blue Rescue Team, I think it was one of my first DS games. That was the only one people were really playing. It was an oddity to see people actually playing Red Rescue Team, at least as I remember it. Anyways, those were two of the three leaks / rumors we wanted to talk about. The third is not. I guess it's a wait and see if this is actually a leak. But there's some murmurs that the Inklings and Shovel Knight will come to Smash. Now, the Inklings thing started as a Twitter rumor. I heard it from someone specifically. Other people on staff have heard it from different people. And the people we heard it from supposedly heard it from both former and current Nintendo employees that in the next few weeks, I believe I heard within 2, there will be some kind of Nintendo Direct, and at the very end of it, there will be a trailer for the Inklings coming to Smash. And I also heard from the same person that there's some word of what there's another character, not for the next Nintendo Direct, but it is known among some people what the next Smash Bros. Newcomer after Inklings is, but I was not able to get that out. It sounds like there's a real good chance that this Splatoon Inkling thing holds merit, because Splatoon is a very popular game, and I'm guessing Splatoon did pretty well in the ballot. There's also word that Splatoon stage would also be coming as a result. The Shovel Knight thing happened because there's a Shovel Knight amiibo, and then that got listed as supported on the Smash Bros. Amiibo page. So there is some assumption that maybe it'll work in Smash Bros. Or and at the very least, maybe the Shovel Knight may have some interesting application as an amiibo that we don't know about yet. This is all exciting stuff, and I think it more just fuels the idea that we might have a Nintendo Direct like next week, if not the week after.
Yeah, they've announced yesterday there was going to be a major Nintendo network maintenance that's going to take everything down. Tuesday morning Japan time, Monday afternoon US time. So that'd be the first chance to really go into detail, because there's some other things that would be associated with that. If it's a big update that's affecting everything, I mean, for all we know, that there, as was mentioned in the comments for this announcement on NWR, they could just be fixing the leaks so that we don't get any more Virtual Console spoilers. But there is that possibility that they could do something perhaps as soon as this coming Monday. And if not, you've got Nintendo's going to have their financial call a week from Wednesday. So you've got that would be a good time to get some news out to really hype up the holiday season and beyond to make the rest of the fiscal year look good.
Yeah, there's so much there's so much reason to think that especially in the next couple weeks is a really right time for Nintendo Direct, because I think having one in the next week or two would show a level of strength on Nintendo's part that yes, actually Nintendo Directs will absolutely be happening following the unfortunate passing of Mr. Iwata. And then also, this was originally going to be the final story of Nintendo News Report tonight, but we can just talk about it here because it is tangentially related, and there wouldn't be that much to say otherwise, that the DNA mobile game is going to get revealed soon. Like that's like someone from DNA made it sound like...
It sounds like, as I recall, it was within a couple of weeks.
There will be VentureBeat Games Beat 2015 conference. That's what I was looking for. The CEO said soon to announce the game. And the presumption is that whatever they announce would be available that day. It would be a really cool reveal if Nintendo's first mobile game was announced the day of the Direct, came out the same day as the Direct, and maybe also had a 3DS version, so it's not like Nintendo's just revealing a mobile game by itself.
And this just actually came out here. Apparently, there is a Splatoon 2.2.0 update. If it's not coming immediately, it's coming very soon. That could be as soon. That could be as soon as tomorrow night.
And do we know if this is the Octoling update?
Well, the only source we have for it right now is Japanese. I'm trying to look at it right now, but my Google Translate is failing me. So
Sure. Yeah, there's the you can look at it for a second. Octolings. The fact that those exist in a mostly complete state make me think that we are due for some announcement of it. And I think new playable Octolings, especially if there is going to be some sort of amiibo announcement alongside it, like it sounds like there very well might be, that's not the kind of thing you would announce on Twitter and on social media. That's a big thing you would either announce during a Nintendo Direct or during a Splatoon Direct, which was what I heard from this original Inkling leak. So I think we could be due for something relatively soon. It just seems like everything's lining up perfectly in a way it just didn't before.
yeah, this update is been dated for the 21st, so that's this coming Wednesday. So it'll be Tuesday night U.S. time. And
do we know what it is?
It's like some balance changes, something about competition related to competition. Again, I'm running off Google Translate here, so it's probably not the best way to do it. Fixing some stuff with the weapons shop, stage adjustments, skill changes. Doesn't mention anything about Octolings.
Okay, cool. And Octolings could always come later. It could be the kind of thing where they announce it like with the update during a Direct, but it's also coming out in a week or two because it's a big thing, so they could do that. We'll see. Either way, I stand with the majority that says that a Nintendo Direct will. Me announcing news that's just me saying I really think a Nintendo Direct is going to come next week.
Yeah,
and we will see if it pans out.
And there's still the open question of what the believe is going on with Pokemon, its mainline game, but that's probably the end of the month anyway.
Yeah, that's also interesting because Koro recently came out, and then this wasn't a news story, though maybe it should have been, that Zygarde and Yveltal got new kind of form-looking things. I'm not sure if they actually are full-on forms. They kind of look like a half step at best. Like Xerneas and Yveltal are getting some sort of to coincide with the anime series. What I think is going to happen is this Pokemon game is going to come out next fall, and the anime stuff is just going to come well before it. I don't think we're getting a game this spring. I think Pokemon Go is the main thing coming out before Pokken Tournament. And I think there is still some time to come before we get Pokemon XYZ. I think it's going to be one version, probably. Actually, no, since there's Xerneas and Yveltal forms, it probably will be XZ and YZ. We'll see. We'll see. Either way, there are plenty of questions that Nintendo needs to answer. Okay. There are two worth talking about this week. That is Legend of Legacy, the Atlas game. That's on 3DS. Neil gave it a pretty positive review. I recommend checking that out on NintendoWorldReport.com. Donald, are you going to play that?
I'm honestly, what I'm looking for in an RPG right now really doesn't jive with what Legend of Legacy is. Like I was hoping there'd be more story to it, and the demo kind of put me off of I was getting cheese constantly in the demo, so yeah, this is an Atlas game. If I'm not fully comfortable with it, I can wait a few months and it will probably go down the price.
This would have been not for me because I got Metal Gear and then I'm going to have Fallout in under a month, then like right next to each other. But otherwise, if you're an RPG fan, this would have been a flawless time for Persona 5 to come out. It's you probably because there's not much competition. Most of the competition are these RPGs that aren't even story focused, and everything else is just Western coming out right now. Like the closest thing we have is Persona 4 Dancing All Night, and this is the time for that. But I don't know, man. It's that game is real flawed. It doesn't. It's like Persona 4 Ultimax, where it's like it's a sub RPG story masquerading as an RPG story, and I don't know. Either way, Legend of Legacy is not the RPG we need right now, probably. The other game that came out is Yoshi's Woolly World. That's a game I'm looking forward to a little more, but I probably won't play until I see it for $20. This isn't like Splatoon, where it got such good it was kind of real. Yoshi's Woolly World is the kind of game that I want to play, but I don't want to pay $50 for. So what's going to happen is I'm going to buy that Yoshi Yarn Woolly Amiibo. I'm going to use that as my Yoshi Amiibo, and that's going to be that for now. Eventually, I probably will get Yoshi's Woolly World because it does sound pretty cool for a fan of Yoshi's Island, but everything I hear about that game just makes it sound like it's just pretty good.
I mean, Becky gave it a really positive review this week, and I've been waiting for this one for about a year and a half now at minimum. That's when I pre-ordered it, so I'm going to be getting that probably early next week. But I'll definitely be taking advantage of the ability to make Ness into a Yoshi.
Okay, very cool. We're actually doing really well right now in viewers, or at least listeners. Hello to the 17 of you listening, and hopefully you're enjoying. And let's keep the show going. Yeah, I'm glad you have positive things to say. I hope to hear more about it next week. If I still had a GameFly account, or if Redbox did Wii U games, this would be the perfect one for me because I really love Yoshi, and I really love the art style. Though Epic Yarn really left me wanting. That game was too easy, and it sounds like this game might actually still be a little easier than Yoshi's Island. So we'll see. Well, we'll see. Looking forward to what you have to say. Two news stories this week, then, for us to talk about. The first is that Mario and Luigi Paper Jam, or as it is known in Europe and Australia as a Paper Jam, that's coming to Europe to December 10th. And this is coming on the heels of the fact that it sounds like Yokai Watch might not make Europe and Australia this year. America quickly approaching 6-8. Interesting that this game is pretty much already done.
Yeah, it comes out in Japan.
Another month.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Go ahead. Okay, it comes out in Japan on
no. December 3rd.
In Japan, and then December 4th in Europe, which is the same day as Xenoblade. And then I was reminded later that Yokai Watch comes out in Australia on December 10th, so there's going to be two big RPGs on the same day there as well.
You think this game's going to be really good, Donald?
At this point, the Mario and Luigi games basically run on the same theory, or sort of the opposite theory of the Star Trek movies, where where the odd numbered ones are good. For Mario and Luigi, I mean, Bowser's Inside Story was great, the original was great. Dream Team Brothers and Partners in Time, not so much. But
yeah, very, very flawed.
Yeah, but I'm hoping that I'm based on what Brian said at E3, because that's the last time we saw this game. It's another reason why we need a Nintendo Direct. That this looks to be more than the sum of its parts, basically.
Yeah, I was actually reading up on this game today just because this announcement reminded me of Mario and Luigi Paper Jam. I am excited by the idea of Paper Mario characters coming into the world of Mario but I wonder if that is going to be beyond Mario, Peach, Paper Luigi, and Paper Bowser. Now, Paper Luigi characters, and that both is wrong, but I'm also think that there's a decent chance that Paper Mario may have seen its best 13 years ago. It sounds like someone's ringing my doorbell. I'm not going to get that. Okay, yeah. So we'll see. I hate to say this about so many games that haven't come out yet, but really, it really is. Will sounds like for Mario, exciting for this crossover to finally happen. The cynical side of me says is that Mario and Luigi isn't good enough for his own game, and is kind of playing to the Mario is likely selling much better.
Well, it doesn't help that the last time they did a Paper Mario game that really wasn't an RPG at all.
Yeah, I would even argue that this Paper Mario on 3DS wasn't really much of an RPG, but rather a puzzle game pretending to be an RPG.
That was actually the one I was thinking of. Was
oh man,
yeah,
yeah. In a weird way, Super Paper Mario is probably more of an RPG than Paper Mario Sticker Star is. At least that one had like really consistent leveling. Paper Mario Sticker Star didn't. There were cool things about that game, but it kind of like. I don't want to insult people with dementia, but that game felt like Mario and Luigi like slowly got this weird onset Alzheimer's after Thousand Year Door, and by the time Sticker Star had come out, it had completely forgotten what it was supposed to be. There's something profoundly depressing about Sticker Star that I still can't quite put my finger on. It might just be that half of the personality is missing, and all that's left is a Paper Bowser that doesn't remotely have the personality of original Paper Bowser, and Paper Mario, which is probably the only thing that retains its personality from the original games. Fucking Paper Mario. We'll see. I'm still willing to play anything that comes out of a Paper Mario series, but it's really been letting me down for years and years and years by this point. Anything else before we move on, Donald?
Well, I will mention that we did the US patch notes for Splatoon 2.2 are out, and they'll be up on Nintendo World Report soon.
Okay, cool. Donald's going to be working on that ASAP. Final story, Nintendo launches a Triforce Heroes beta for North America and Europe. Japan had theirs last weekend, North America has its shot, and Europe does too. This is pretty much like the Splatoon test fire. Online sessions are scheduled for limited times. Friday and Saturday you can play from 5 to 10 p.m. Pacific time or 8 to 1 a.m. Eastern. And Sunday from 7 a.m. to 12 p.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern, limited local play. Japan received the beta last weekend, and Mr. Aonuma allegedly confirmed to have participated in one session. The Europe one's coming to Europe as well. Codes have gone out for that. This all came out in a Nintendo newsletter. Pretty much everyone on staff who wants access to it has gotten access to it because so many of us do subscribe to the Nintendo newsletter. I considered asking someone for a code. I'm sure plenty of people have them available. I don't think I want one.
Just not interested?
I don't think this game. No, I didn't even like the Zelda game that was on 3DS. What's it? Link Between Worlds.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of press empty at a Zelda game that I'm flabbergasted at how many people love it and how much people love it. Because it's probably the easiest game in the entire mainline Zelda series. And it has one of the least inspired art styles I've ever seen in a Nintendo game. I really didn't enjoy it at all.
And yet, for me, it was like the #2 game of that year behind 3D World. And well, part of it is because it took so many cues from Links to the Past, and Links to the Past is my favorite Zelda game.
Yeah,
So,
I never played Link to the Past substantially, so that could be why. Go ahead.
no, I'm just in shock you haven't played Link to the Past yet. That's your homework, buddy.
You know what? It's not that I haven't played it. I think I played like 3 hours. And I guess I didn't get into that one either. I'm trying to think what Zelda games I really did love. It was Skyward Sword was pretty good. Ocarina of Time might have been my favorite. The Link's Awakening DX might have been my favorite. Yeah, it's Link's Awakening DX, Minish Cap, and Ocarina of Time. Those are my favorite Zelda games. I think Ocarina of Time is probably the best one in my opinion. Yeah, Link to the Past didn't do it for me, which is depressing because that's supposedly one of the greatest games of all time. So we'll see. I guess that's my catchphrase for this episode. So we'll see how this Triforce Heroes thing shakes out. I'm not really interested in it at all. Maybe it's the best game of the year. Maybe I'll play it if it is, but it won't be.
It's as far as multiplayer things with online go, it's not going to beat Monster Hunter, but it'll fill that hole that's going to be emerging here as soon as I finish off that last bit of DLC.
Sure. So you are looking forward to Link Between or Triforce Heroes, yeah?
Yeah, it helps though that I've got plenty of people that I can play it with between the staff and my local Street Pass group has a meet this Saturday. So hopefully, if it's true that there is unlimited 3-player local multiplayer, that I can get a few games going to that and see what it's like to do it with actual people in the same room.
Looking forward to hearing about what you have to say about that too, especially as someone who is into this this new style or new old style of 2D Zelda. What a stacked year it's been for video games, man.
Yeah.
Especially with Link Between Worlds coming out, and then we have like Yoshi this week. We had Chibi Robo last week. We still got tons of stuff in November. We got Xenoblade in December. I'm going from Metal Gear to Pokemon Mystery Dungeon to Fallout 4. And then let's not forget that we got gems like a Mario Maker and Splatoon and Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate all in the first part of the year. I think this is going to be insane when it comes time to figure out a game of the year like list, and then also to see what everyone else has to say about what their games of the year are. Like, yeah. I'm really excited to make that list by the time everything comes out.
I think I've got a few selections on my list that'll probably stun a few people, but I'm trying to think just what can break into that top 5 before the end of the year, and Xenoblade X probably. Who knows what's going to happen with the stuff coming out next month, and who knows? Maybe Triforce Heroes grabs me and doesn't let me go for a year.
Well, let's not forget that we both gotten bit by the Monster Hunter bug this year.
Yeah.
That I don't know where Monster Hunter 4 is going to be, but I feel like that's probably a lock for the top 5 on both of our lists.
Yeah, it's already locked in online.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I need to play more of it because I played it so long ago, like late January, early February, that I almost forget some of the game now. So I want to go back and play some of it and just remember why I spent 65, 70 hours on that thing in the first place.
Yeah, and they Splatooned out a whole bunch of content for that, so you've got plenty of stuff to play as well.
That's good. That's very good. All right, that's our show for this week. Let's not prolong this much longer. Great show. Sorry for the audio only, everyone. We will try to do video when possible, but hey, at the very least, when we have no other alternative, we can always do an audio only show, and it will come through A-OK. That's very good knowledge for me. So at the very least, for the immediate future, still absolutely expect a Nintendo News Report every single week. I'm Alex Kulafia. I can be found at Kulafia on Twitter. Donald can be found at Donald Mick. And Scott, Zach, you'll see some of them in the future. Episode 50 is coming soon. This is 46. Only 4 left. I'm thinking episode 50. Maybe we talk about the future of the show a little, and then we will find out where Donald and my top 5 stack up. I have this idea that even though for Nintendo World Report podcasts, primarily we've always done it where it's only the Nintendo top 5 of the year, I'm thinking that for this show, we just do a top 5 overall, Nintendo or otherwise. And then maybe we spend some extra time on Nintendo games, but I feel like we should just do the top 5 regardless of whether it came out on a Nintendo platform or not, just to get an honest reading of where we felt Nintendo stacked up this year. Because I feel Nintendo had an extraordinarily interesting mixed year.
The only thing I fear of doing that is because episode 50 would be about this time next month, and we'd still have a month's worth of games to go through.
Okay, so we'll figure it out. Maybe we'll maybe we won't take a week off. We'll see how everything shapes out. Once again, we will see. All right, that's our show. We'll talk more about this in the future, everybody. Bye-bye.
Go Blue Jays.